It is me. I am back again with another video. Of course, I've been gone for like, I don't know, I feel like it's been like 2 months already. But I'm back. I got new equipment. I got a new microphone situation going on now. So the audio could be a lot more better and the quality could be a lot more better than it was before. But now I wanted to get into more like unsolved mysteries or, you know, some things that haven't been solved at all. So I've always been into just unsolved murders really, and then whenever I'm home alone or something and I'm cleaning or something like that, I usually always tend to put something on the TV as background noise, and it's always unsolved murder cases. So today we're here to actually talk about a few of them that actually happened here around Texas. It is actually called Lover's Lane, and we're gonna talk about one particular one that's actually really famous out there, and it is actually also called Lover's Lane Murder, but that's not really like a title for a lot of, you know, it's a general title really, because it's just, you know, the Houston Lover's Lane murderers who killed Cheryl Henry and Andy Atkinson. I don't know what I'm saying right now. It's been so long and I kind of feel weird in front of the camera right now, but today we're here, we're trying to get through this, and I feel like I can't talk that well right now because I just been jumbled out of my mind. This is my dog right behind me, keeping us company with this whole entire horrific story. So we're gonna get on to it. On August 21st, 1990, Cheryl Henry and Garland Andy Atkinson went on a double date with Cheryl's younger sister Shane and Shane's escort. Around 11 p.m., the two couples parted ways at a club called Bayou Mamas. When Henry and Atkinson hadn't turned up by the next morning, their families contacted the police. On the evening of August 22nd, or possibly the 23rd, an abandoned car was found on Enclave Road, a secluded road often used as a lover's lane. There was some fresh blood in the car, which had been turned off with the key left in the auxiliary position and the seats reclined. A woman's shoes and handbags were on the floorboard. Once the police realized the car belonged to the missing person, Andy Atkinson, they brought in a scent dog. A search of the nearby area revealed a golf club and 3 golf clubs, all pointing towards Cheryl's body. With the dog's help, Cheryl's body was located about 200 yards from the car in the woods. Lying face down, several planks pulled from a rotting cedar fence. Cheryl's throat had been slashed. She had been raped, and her clothes had been cut off her body. Her hands were tied behind her back. There was a cluster of deflated balloons draped over a nearby tree, but no connection has been made to the crime. There was also a $20 bill next to Cheryl's lifeless body. The next morning, Andy's body was found 50 to 100 yards away from Cheryl's body, fully clothed, seated with his back to a tree trunk, and his hands tied behind his back with the similar rope that Cheryl's hands were tied up with. His throat has also been slashed, but it was so deep that it almost decapitated him. He still had his watch and his money on him, which also seems that the thought of being robbed is very unlikely. Though police identified several suspects, DNA testing against evidence from Cheryl's body eliminated them all. In 2002, the Houston PD DNA lab was closed, and hundreds of DNA samples were retested. Houston police have said that they're confident in the lab work done on this particular case, but the DNA evidence was independently retested in 2004. That time, they got a match from DNA collected in the unsolved rape of an exotic dancer. There is a composite sketch available in that case, but from what I can tell, that the composite sketch wasn't created in 1990, but it was created in 2004 after police went back to talk to the victim, who has not been named. On June 20th, 1990, the unnamed rape victim left her job from Gigi's around 2 a.m. and went to her boyfriend's house. Her boyfriend was gone for work, so she ate takeout in the living room, then headed upstairs to go to bed. As she approached the bedroom, a man came out of the bedroom with a stocking over his face, wearing gloves and a matching shirt and pants, which she described possibly being a uniform. He had a gun in his hand and he knew her boyfriend's name. He duct taped her hands behind her back, duct taped her eyes and mouth, put something like a pillowcase over her head before raping her. He also took cash from her purse. During the rape, he told her she wasn't very observant and that he was wearing a military uniform, which police think was an attempt to put her off of the fact that it was actually something like a security guard uniform. She discovered after the fact that he had disconnected her phone. Here's the connection between the two women. Cheryl worked at a topless bar similar to Gigi's called Rick's Cabaret. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. Andy also occasionally worked the front door at another club in the area called Dream Street, where his father was the manager. Police think that the suspect either worked in a strip club or frequented them. In 2001, police got an anonymous note that said, "If you want to know who killed C. Henry and A. Atkinson, it will cost you $100,000. There were instructions for police to reply in the classified sections of the Houston Chronicle in a specific date, along with the warning that a lawyer would be hired to make sure you play straight. The police did answer, and it is classified, but nothing else ever came of it. Their belief is that it was someone who had information on the killer as opposed to the killer himself. There are other women who could have been killed by the same man, namely Tara Suzette Breckenridge, I believe. As theorized by True Crime Diva, Tara was a waitress at a men's club in Houston, and she disappeared after leaving work around 1 a.m. on August 4th, 1992. She was last seen talking to the security guard at the club. What's difficult about this killer that his MO is not consistent. In the first case, the dancer was restrained with duct tape and held at gunpoint, and had pillowcases over her head, and had her phone disconnected by her attacker to prevent her calling for help. It also seems he knew her somehow, since he knew her boyfriend's name, and he was waiting inside his home for her boyfriend when the boyfriend was out of town. In the second case, we don't know how Cheryl and Andy were subdued, but the killer definitely had a knife, explaining the injuries after and, the cause of death. He restrained them to the rope and with rope and duct tape to attack them first, so he was very careful on how the way he approached Cheryl and Andy, that way he won't get away. So he made sure he was, they were restrained before he did anything to them. So this is still it's unsolved till this day. And, my heart goes out to the families that don't know who caused this whole entire, not difficult, but it's just a very horrific situation. I just don't know how to explain it, because it just baffles me just reading it, because he really did seize the opportunity to get Cheryl and Andy, and unfortunately he got other woman. Please don't know if it's the same man who had done this, but at least they have well, they don't have any type of like lead from what I read so far. So it is still unknown to what has happened to the couple, and of course, like I said, there is more unsolved mysteries that that are around Lover's Lane. So, people seize their opportunities because it's a very secluded area for a reason. I'm sorry, my watch went off. So it is going to be a series because I am going to be talking about Lover's Lane a lot more, but this is just part 1 and what happened to Cheryl and Andy, how the way they were found. It's unfortunate that, it was unsolved after all these years, and it doesn't seem like there's no, light to the tunnel in any point at this time. I do want to make this a series, like I said before. Here's my broken. How gross! Don't pay attention to my band-aid. I have a broken nail right now. So this is a series that I actually do want to keep up. It's, Lover's Lane Tales. I am going to be talking about it, and I'm going to be posting about the various unsolved mysteries that pertain to this whole, mess. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys want to see more, just like and subscribe, because I feel like I need to be motivated, and I think I just kind of expect so much when I shouldn't expect so much. I should just go with the flow, you know what I mean? Just go with the flow. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, give me feedback. Don't know how I'm gonna, whatever. Anyways, bye.